On the next morning show. Be there.
Everything you're about to see and hear is true. Real cops, real cases compiled from actual events. Police stories told by the cops who lived them and will remember them the rest of their lives.
I've done everything a female undercover cop does in New York City. Posed as a cheap hooker and been the wife or girlfriend at the side of 100 other detectives from Times Square to Central Park. And it's amazing. You watch maybe 3 or 4 million people go by in an afternoon. All those faces. And we always had pretty good success in picking out the bank robbers. One particular face I picked out of the crowd more than once.
Slow down.
I saw him, Bumper. I know it. Over there. Ow, his damn shoes. Didn't think we'd be doing this much walking.
We had a series of bank robberies near Grand Central. The surveillance photos taken by the bank's hidden cameras clearly showed a 6'9" man with a mustache. Me and my partner, Bob Daly, we all called him Bumper, took turns on point, so that if the suspect turned around, he wouldn't see the same people behind him. We were hoping that he'd actually go into a bank, and we could catch him in the act.
Oh, shoot. Tore my pantyhose. Damn shoes. Next time I'm coming out here dressed as a jogger.
Definitely interested, Kathy.
A male and female arrest team have a built-in element of surprise. Bad guys aren't used to a couple jumping them. They're not looking for it. A couple can usually get right on top without being spotted. It was hard to keep up because he was 6'9". I was walking so fast, my feet ripped right through my pantyhose. They were blistered and bleeding.
He's heading for the station.
We knew this was our guy, and we had to take him before he got to the congestion of the terminal. Every arrest team has one member designated to cover, while the other cuffs the suspect. You know all your partner's moves, and he knows yours. When the bust goes down, you work together, like a well-oiled machine. Yeah, a woman with a gun can be very intimidating. People aren't expecting it, so you play with their heads to keep them off balance.
I wouldn't make any sudden moves if I were you. I've never used this thing before and it could go off.
I'm a detective in the narcotics division, and after 8.5 years in the drug community, my instincts were good. You gain an insight into people as a cop. You can almost put a profile to them, their mentality, their motivation, their habits. I read people pretty well, and I'm pretty good at getting them to talk, too. Sometimes it's amazing what they'll volunteer.
So tell me, Bill, what do you use the money for? We got pictures of you here from a lot of different banks, Bill. Come on. What do you use the money for?
Drugs.
Where'd you buy them?
In Harlem.
You know the address?
Up around 142nd Street. Kind of new in town.
Mr. Burke was from Oklahoma, Kathy. He's currently on unauthorized leave from Lawton State Penitentiary. Robbery.
Couldn't resist a trip up to the Big Apple, huh, Bill? Well, tell you what. We're going to give you a free ticket back to Oklahoma. And in 3 to 5, when you finish your sentence, you can come back here for a few years as a guest of the state. Sound good?
I I wrote everything Breckner had told me down in my personal notes. You can't take the narc out of the cop just because you transfer him, or her. Whenever I made an arrest in the major case squad, I asked about narcotics. I had a love of children, and I saw myself as making their world better. I got a tremendous satisfaction from locking up drug dealers, and I was sure Breckner's information would help me do just that.
Thank you. Next, please. Hi.
This here's a grenade. Now you just give me all the money, or I'll blow up the bank. Now you just keep quiet till I'm gone.
I'll never forget it. My son and I came...
Hey, Kath. You've been around a while, huh? This one look familiar? I'm trying to blow up a bank with a hand grenade. Great big guy.
I locked this guy up 3 years ago. What was his name? Baker.
Well, what did you get him on?
Bank robbery. But you know, he was already doing time in Oklahoma. He shouldn't be out on the street yet. No way.
Was a grenade his M.O.?
No, he had a hunting knife when we caught him. Breckner. Here he is. William Breckner.
All right. I'll run a check on him, huh?
My partner, John Gaspar, contacted Lawton State Penitentiary to see if Breckner had been discharged, only to find that he'd escaped again 2 weeks before. My notes listed the places he'd hung out the last time he was in New York, including the location in Harlem where he'd gone to find drugs.
I think I know where this guy's gonna go.
How?
Last time he escaped, he came straight to New York. Same thing this time. He's a creature of habit. And he's an out-of-towner. He's gonna hang out in the same places.
Okay. But what's up in Harlem?
Place where he used to buy drugs.
Narcotics has made a lot of busts in 3 years. You think it'll still be there?
What matters is what he thinks.
We weren't following a hunch because we knew Breckner's prior history. You always start with the known and work your way back to the unknown. The unknown was which bank he would pull that grenade in next. The known was that he used the money he robbed to buy drugs and that he had a connection in Harlem. We called some other units and set up a attack plan. Breckner was big and quite possibly violent. Officers were situated around the area while John and I went mobile because I would know Breckner on sight. The man didn't know New York. He'd go where he knew the drugs were good, Harlem. He wouldn't take the chance of being beat. That would be the mentality of someone like him.
Spot him. We got to get him in the car as soon as possible.
Yeah, I know. You don't take chances in an environment like this because the crowd would group together against you. Harlem was hot, and here we were the bad guys. Breckner could also have a gun or that grenade with him.
John, that was him.
Spot us?
I don't think so. I'm gonna turn around here. Come up on it from behind.
We didn't know who the other guy was, or if it was his neighborhood. For that matter, he could have been a junkie or a bank robber, too. When you don't know the relationship between the players and the environment, you have to be very swift in what you do. We had to hit him hard and fast. Get in and get out quick. John and I had the same philosophy. Whatever had to be done, you did it. You took the risks without thinking about them. Everything we did was second nature. And we knew if this guy had to go, he was going.
John, the bag.
The bag was bulging. It looked like it held the grenade. I wanted to help John, but I had a prisoner too. I couldn't get on the ground and roll with them. I couldn't shoot and risk hitting my partner. My only option was to step on Breckner's hand.
Get going, come on! Stay apart!
Take it off. Back.
Hands behind.
said it works. He's dirty, John. Hi, Bill. Remember me?
God, not you again.
I thought you'd know better than to come back to New York.
Breckner wasn't carrying the grenade, so John and I checked his hotel. We found it in one of the dresser drawers and called the bomb squad to disarm it. But in the end, the grenade turned out to be a training model with no pin. Breckner was once again charged with bank robbery in New York and sent back to finish his sentence in Oklahoma. When we made the arrest, I felt the normal apprehension and adrenaline pumps. But I was certain we'd find him because I had some insight into his character. That educated guess on where Breckner might be would be called a hunch by some people. I suppose I've called it that myself. But hunches are born of a cop's understanding of human nature. Most cops read people pretty well. You have feelings about who you can trust and who you can't. You often meet people and sense something's not right. You hope you're wrong, but sooner or later, you find out you're not. Sometimes it's disillusioning. Sometimes it helps you know the bad guys better than they know themselves.